I grew up in Crowford, went to school in Bexley, at a very different time. It wasn't a time when there were a lot of black people around. I was the first black girl at Tammy Grammar. It was then called Bexley Tech. My sister was the second, 3 years later. And I hope that what girls at Tammy now see is that it's possible to get a good education, to work hard, and to be able to do a whole range of different things. There have been lots of challenges. I think it's important to be resilient, to be strong, to have courage, but also to recognise that you need to stay true to who you are and really believe in yourself. But one of the worries I have is that there's so much focus on Black History Month and that we don't really think about the contribution that people from ethnic minorities, people of colour, have made to Britain over the centuries. I think it's important that it's part of our curriculum, that we think about the difficult aspects of that history, for example, the slave trade, the period of colonialism, what that has meant in terms of the relationship of other countries to Britain, but also the opportunities that it has provided for Britain to be a country that has a huge diaspora that's composed of people who have come from different parts of the world, that multiculturalism, if you like, is at our heart, that we are a country that has different ethnicities, and that we need to celebrate that. But I also think that celebrating the contribution that Black people have made is really important, but I want us to do it not just for 1 month, but throughout the year. I think it helps us to think about connections between all of us. There's that history of empire, there is Britain's colonial history, how the different countries connect not just with Britain but with each other. And I think it helps us sometimes to focus and think about how we got here and what those connections really mean. And I would love to see more of that. Despite the progress that we have made, I think that there is still an issue of representation across many, many walks of life, what's happening at senior levels in business, in terms of the numbers of people who get into what's called the C-suite, the most senior executive jobs in corporate organisations. We see a lot of Black people who leave university or leave school who start their own businesses because they feel that there still isn't a level playing field. That means that they are given the same opportunities. It's sometimes very hard to talk about these things today because there's an assumption that because progress has been made, it means that those hurdles have disappeared. In fact, they've not. They may have just taken a different form. So how we talk about these things, how we create the kind of culture and situation that enables us to talk about these things honestly, where there isn't a sense that if Black people are given the opportunity that they deserve and that they should have to really reach their potential. This doesn't mean that other people lose that. There's a kind of sense that if that happens, if we have more equality, it means it's not inclusive topic. We have to have these conversations, and it's important that in having these conversations that we are truthful, both about what the structural problems are, but also what some of the personal issues are for people in terms of addressing these issues. We're seeing a little bit more now in terms of it's not just about ethnicity, it's not just about gender, but also in terms of disability, in terms of LGBT issues. But we have a long way to go, and we need to celebrate that diversity and recognise it.